What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good today. So I haven't really been uploading on this channel that much here recently, other than some TikTok videos that I've come across and some that I've made myself. Other than that, I haven't really been uploading to this channel much recently. First off, it was because I've been trying to get over being sick, and right now I'm feeling a lot better. I did a video a couple weeks back, and I sounded really horrible while talking in that video because I was sick at that point. I was sick with strep throat. And then I've had a lot of friends and family that have been getting sick as well, and I haven't been around them much, because of it, because I've been trying to get better myself, and then, some of them end up getting sick, not with strep throat like I had, some of them have just been getting sick with other things, surprisingly, none of them had COVID. Everybody's talking about how that's still going around, but, other than that, I've been getting better, and some of my family have been getting better as well as some of my friends, which I'm thankful for. So I want to talk about what I've been hearing about, and then I want to talk about a few other things here. So anyways, hopefully my recording device does not tip over or anything, because I had to set it down because, the video was getting shaky. But before I get started, I will say I apologize about the weird lighting. This room does not have a lot of light in it, and my windows are blocked off because it gets hot in here if I don't cover them up. So, yeah. But anyways, you guys have been hearing about the whole thing with Ivana Trump passing away. For those of you who don't know who she is, which I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this video probably know who she is, but if you don't know, she's Trump's ex-wife. I don't know how long ago they divorced, but she's Trump's ex-wife, and recently she passed away, and her family is hurting. Donald Trump said that he's hurting, as well as all of his kids, his grandkids, and all of them, and for that I do feel for them. My heart does go out to them. It really sucks that it had to happen. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't even wish that on Joe Biden's wife, or Hunter Biden, or anybody in Joe Biden's family. I would never wish anything like that to happen to either one of them, because, regardless of how much I don't like them, or like Joe Biden anyways, I would never wish anything negative upon Joe Biden's family. It's wrong to wish anything bad on anybody's family just because you don't like that specific person. I know some people are going to comment and say, oh, well, that's just the way it is. People have a right to do that and say this and that. Yeah, it's okay to not like somebody, but if hating somebody so much requires you to talk bad about their family, you got a problem. I'll say that right now. There is no excuse for it, and if you think that's okay, you got a big problem. I'll say that right now. So with that said, I've been hearing all sorts of bullshit coming from people. A lot of people are talking bad about Trump and how they think he is fundraising over her passing and doing this and that. Like, come on now. Really, people, where do you get this shit? You got Facebook pages like Occupy Democrats, which, I don't know why people even take advice from that group, but then again, it's called Occupy Democrats. So, I guess people that follow that Facebook page are going to believe whatever they said. And then, you got people on TikTok that are doing the same shit, talking about how, oh, well, Donald Trump's doing this and that, He's trying to, start this and that, He doesn't actually feel for his ex-wife, blah, 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 blah. Really? You really think that nonsense is true? And then people are talking bad about her and talking about how her entire family is a complete piece of shit. Really? You only say that because you hate one person that's a part of that. And that person you hate is Donald Trump. Maybe you don't like Ivana Trump for whatever reason. Maybe you don't like Eric Trump for whatever reason. Maybe you don't like Donald Trump Jr. for whatever reason. Whatever. But seriously, to sit there and say the entire family is a complete piece of shit, all because of one person. Do you even think before you say? Just curious. Look, I don't know a shit ton about Ivana Trump, okay? I'll say that right now. Maybe she's done some things or said some things in the past that weren't right. It's whatever. A lot of people have done that. I know a lot of people that have passed away that weren't good people. Recently, I had to go to a funeral for somebody that wasn't, the best person. And I'm not talking shit, I'm not going to say who it is, I'm not talking bad about that person, He's done some good things, and I do feel for his family, my heart does go out to them, and I'm not going to say anything bad about that person's life. But like I said, I've heard a lot of people that have passed away that weren't good people. Some of them have done some really, really bad things in their life before, or a very long time before they've passed. But I'm not going to sit there and use that as a weapon to sit there and criticize them and, say why I think they deserved it and all, and then put the blame on the family. Like, for real. That's not cool at all. And for those of you that are going to sit there and say, well, you're only saying we shouldn't wish these things upon people because you like that person. You turn around next minute and wish that on somebody else, blah, 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 blah. Oh, shut the fuck up. Some of you people that say that are the same exact type of people that like to sit there and wish death upon certain people, like people who are cops. Or, you like to sit there and complain and bitch about how you can't abort your baby in most cases anymore, all because Roe v. Wade got overturned. And I bet a lot of you guys probably won't say a damn word about the amount of lives that have either been ruined or lost from the drama that came from Black Lives Matter and the Antifa when they were causing riots and chaos across the country back in 2020. So for those of you that are going to sit there and say that I shouldn't have a say in this argument, you're wrong, and your opinion does not matter to me one bit. So with all that being said, so I will say this right now, again, my heart does go out to Donald Trump and, everybody around him that's dealing with this loss, my heart does go out to them. I am thinking and praying for all those people, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, thoughts and prayers aren't going to do shit. You know what? If you're going to sit there and say that, so be it. But like I said, your opinion does not matter to me one bit. If you're going to sit there and be a hateful prick towards somebody that you don't like. So be it. So with all that being said, be sure you hug your loved ones, because you never know when things like this can happen. And recently, for the funeral that I went to, the dude that passed away and we were having that funeral for, he was perfectly healthy, went to all his doctor's appointment and everything. He was a very active person, and all it took was an unexpected, massive heart attack to take his life. One minute he was fine, and the next he was just on the floor, unresponsive. And that's how he died. So for the people that are dealing with, that person's loss, again, I feel for you guys as well. This summer has been a pretty bad summer for a lot of people. A lot of people have been getting sick, and a lot of people have been dealing with losing a family member or a friend, and it's tough. It really is. And as a matter of fact, while I'm talking about that, I will say this right now. Today, as of the time I'm making this video, marks 4 years since I lost my papa. He was dealing with massive pain, and, he had to go to the hospital for it. And, prior to that, he had been to a few other hospitals, and they said he was just dealing with some pain, and, all he had to do was take some medicine for it, and it would make him feel better. And he started to feel better, and then it just got worse again, and he couldn't really move around without feeling a shit ton of pain. And so my grandma called an ambulance to come and pick him up, and at first they thought he was going to be okay, but there were a few other doctors that did a test on him, and come to find out his organs were shutting down, and it was getting to the point where it was getting out of hand, and there wasn't anything they could do to save him. And about 3 or 4 days later, my family and I had to go say our goodbyes to him, and just, it was pretty messed up. Hold on a sec. Alright, I apologize. It's just, when I talk about this, it's really hard, because my papa, he was there for us for a lot of things. He taught us some things, and he was a really nice guy, and losing him was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through in my life, and it took us months to get over his passing. Losing him was pretty tough. He helped my grandma with a lot of things. When my dad and all my aunts were young, and my blood related grandfather left my grandma, he took, my papa Steve took my grandma in and gave them a place to stay, and eventually they loved each other and they got married. He was there for my brothers and I more than any other grandfather we've had. We started seeing my blood related grandfather more and more as we've gotten older, but other than that, just, when he passed away, it was tough for us. It really was. I didn't expect him to go down like that, but sometimes you just never know when things like this can happen. How the other hospitals didn't see this coming, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to say which hospitals he went to, because I don't want people to, throw blame or anything. Even though I want to throw some blame that they didn't figure out what the issue was. Oh, I apologize about that. Like I said, I was sick a couple weeks ago, and I'm still trying to get over that, which is kind of why my voice sounds a little different. But like I said, I've gotten better since then. But, I gotta understand, sometimes you can't always, see these types of things coming. I'll just put it that way. So, do I want to throw a lot of blame towards those hospitals? No, I'm not going to, because sometimes things just happen and you can't predict them. That's all there is to it. So like I said, 4 years ago today, as of the time I'm making this video, my Papa Steve passed away. And, I still think about him quite often. There's a lot of times where I wish he was still around for a lot of things, but I also got to be thankful that he's no longer in pain. He no longer has to suffer any pain of some sort. Alright, so I'm going to make this the last clip. But, so I'm sure this video is probably going to get a lot of criticism, because I'm addressing something that has to do with Donald Trump. And, I know some people are going to comment, say things like, oh, well, Trump has done some bad things, and I'm sure his ex-wife done some bad things, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't care. If that's what you're going to say, then I guess go ahead and say it. But if that's what you have to say, your opinion does not matter to me at all. But if you do respect what I'm saying, but you feel like you need to say something, I'll try and be as respectful towards your opinion as possible. But if you do agree with what I'm saying and you feel like you can relate to what I was talking about, feel free to say something in the comments. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Again, I'm not trying to make this video for attention. I just feel like I should say this, because, I'm addressing somebody else passing away, and, I figured I should talk about this while I was making this video, because like I said, today marks 4 years since I lost my papa, and I'm not trying to get attention for talking about him. I'm really not. I don't use things like that to get attention. I would never do that, but like I said, if you've lost a loved one like that and you can relate, feel free to say something in the comments. I try and have a good heart for people. And I try and be there for people when I can. And even if I can't be there for those that I love, I always say something, rather it be over text or over a phone call, or if I got to write to them and say, hey, I love you guys. And I just want you guys to know that you guys are in my mind, even if I'm not around. And I know my Papa Steve is watching over me right now. Watching over my family, as a matter of fact. He cared for us. He took my dad, my grandma, and 3 of my aunts in when my other grandfather left them. And I'm not going to criticize him. I don't want people to throw blame or anything. That's not what I want people to do. Okay? I don't want people to point fingers and say, well, this person was a piece of shit for doing that, and this and that, What I've learned to do was forgive. If I wasn't around for that, which, you know, this was before I was born, so I really don't want to throw blame, and, you know, I don't want to act like it happened just yesterday or sometime recently, you know, but, you know, sometimes things just happen, and we gotta learn how to accept the things that we can't change. So, I apologize. Yes, I did just burp. I apologize about that, but jeez. Hopefully I can quit coughing soon, and hopefully my voice can get better real soon. But that's really all I gotta say. Sorry this video had to be a long one. I'm trying to work on making my videos where they're not as long, you know. About a month or so back, I accidentally made a video that turned out to be 35 minutes long, so, and my voice just cracked. I apologize, but that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna end this video before it turns out to be a super long video. Sorry if it was long. And again, rest in peace to Trump's ex-wife, and also, you know, my Papa Steve. I love and miss you so much, man. And I wish you were still here, but I am thankful that you are no longer in pain. That's all I have to say. Like I said, hug your loved ones, everybody, because you never know when things like this can happen. Other than that, I hope you're having a great night, great day, whenever you're watching this. My birthday's coming up. I'm going to be 24, and that's all I have to say. Peace.